Hey guys, my name is Thomas, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to solve the Rubik's Cube. Now, first things first, we're going to try to get a better understanding of the cube. The Rubik's Cube has 6 faces on it. We have green, red, blue, orange, yellow, and white. And each of the faces are determined by the centerpiece right here. So looking at this center, this would be all green. This one here would be all white, all red, orange, blue, and yellow. And it's because these centers never actually move. If I do any moves on this cube, you actually start to realize that the pieces actually shuffle around the centers and the centers don't move at all. So I have a secondary cube here to actually demonstrate this. If you look at all these center pieces, I can do whatever moves I want. And you'll start to realize that it's still in the same color scheme. So this is green, white, blue, orange, red, and yellow here. So the centerpieces never move. So that would determine this is the green face, white, red, etc., etc. Now we have to talk about the other pieces available on the cube as well. We have edge pieces and corner pieces. So edge pieces, let's see, such as this one here, they only have 2 colors, and there's 12 edge pieces along the whole cube. And then on the corners here, we have 3 colors, such as this one here. And there are about 8 corner pieces on the entire cube. Okay, now that y'all have a better understanding of the cube, I'm going to go ahead and scramble it, and let's begin the solving process. Alright, so I just scrambled the cube. Let's go ahead and get to solving. The very first step you have to do here is, I have a secondary cube to demonstrate this, is to make the daisy. So we're going to have 4 white edges surrounding the yellow center. So let me go ahead and try to show you guys how to make this work. So I want you guys to move the cube around and try to figure out where the white edge pieces are. So ignoring the corners completely for right now, just ignore anything on the outside, focus solely on this part of the cube, this cross piece. We're gonna try to find white colors here, here, here throughout the cube. So first off, we have this one here, and we're trying to connect this white edge piece to the yellow center up to, on the top face right here. So how can I move this piece up to here? Well, that's simple. In one move, I can do this, and that'll go ahead and put the white edge piece connected to the yellow center right here. As we're solving the white edge pieces, essentially if a white edge piece ends up here or here, our goal is to move the edge piece from here to one of these middle layers, so that way it can be one move away from being inserted up to the yellow center here. So ideally, I already have this one in the right spot, which is in this middle layer here. I'm going to go ahead and do one move up to connect it to this yellow center right here. But if I do that one move now, it'll actually push this yellow edge piece away, like how we did here. So to prevent this, what we do is we put an empty slot, such as this one here, and move it over to here. So how can we do that? We can actually move the top layer like that, which leaves this empty space, allowing me to move this white edge piece up to here to the yellow center. Yep. So I'm going to spin the cube around a couple more times and try to find another piece. Okay. So we have this one here. Looks like it's already one move away, so I'm going to do that. And then this piece belongs over there. So what we can do is we can move this empty slot here, such as this. And then we're going to move this white piece up here. So throughout that scramble, I did get extremely lucky because all of my white edge pieces did end up on this middle row right here. But I'm going to show you a scenario where the edge piece actually ends up on the top, such as this one. So we have to move this white edge piece up into one of these slots here. So how can we do that? We can actually move this front face like this, and then it'll move it over to this slot. Or ideally, if you want, you can also move the front face this way as well, and then you can have one move away from inserting it like that. So same thing over here. We're going to move this edge piece over to one of these slots, so such as this one, and then move it up. And then such as this one, we're going to move this white edge piece over here, and now it's one move away from being inserted like that. And then the last edge piece actually ended up on white. It's connected to the white center here, and as we mentioned earlier, white and yellow are on opposite sides of the cube. So that means if I move this edge piece here, which is directly above this empty slot right here, so these two edges, I can actually move this front face twice and end up getting the edge piece on top with the yellow center. After creating the daisy that like we have here, we're then gonna move on to making the white cross, such as this. So essentially, we're gonna transfer over the white edge pieces here down to the white face. Since white and yellow are opposites, this makes it easier to make the white cross, such as this one. So how can we move these white edge pieces over to the white center face? Well, first off, we have to look at the secondary color attached to each of these white edge pieces. So for example, this one here. So this is blue. What we're going to do is we're going to match this color here with the centerpiece on this face. So since blue and red do not match, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to the top layer like this, and I'm going to move the two bottom layers until these colors start lining up. So if these don't line up, I'm going to continue. These don't line up, I'm going to continue. These line up. So once they do line up, such as this, what we do is we move this front face, like this whole entire front face. We're going to move it down twice. And what that does, like we did earlier, we're going to move this edge piece all the way down to the white center, such as we did here. So it's going to make this kind of line. Yeah. So it is really essential to make sure that these colors are matching. All right. Next, we're going to move on to the next white edge piece on the top. I'm going to pick this one for the example here. We're going to match these two colors here. So I'm going to hold on to the top, move the two bottom layers. They don't match, so I continue. Okay, so now they match. We're going to transfer this edge piece down to the white center by moving the front face 2 times downwards. See, we're making the cross piece. So we have half the cross here. I'm going to move on to the next edge piece, which is this one. So looks like this one's already matching. I'm going to do 2 faces down. All right, we're 3/4 of the way there. Then this is the last white edge piece. So we're going to match these colors here. There we are. So now that they're matching, I go ahead and bring it all the way down, and we have the completed white cross. After solving the white cross, we are then going to solve the entire white face. But technically, as we're solving the Rubik's Cube, we don't solve it face by face. So we don't solve the green face after, we don't solve orange after solving the white one. We solve it layer by layer. So after we solve this entire bottom layer of the cube, we are then going to move on to the second layer here. So, and then the final layer on the top. So essentially, we are going to be making the white face, but look at it as if we're making the first layer of the cube before we continue. So how we continue from here is we have to find a corner piece now. So ignoring any of the edges except for the white ones. The white ones should not be affected as we're doing this. Looking at the corner pieces, we are going to find a corner piece with white on it. So I'm going to use this one for my example. It has green and red. We are then going to find which one of these 4 slots down at the bottom does this corner belong in. So looking at these 2 colors, we have to find the one with the red center and the green center and the white center. So this is blue, so I obviously know I have to spin the cube around. So we have red, and this one's blue, so we know it doesn't belong down here. Red, green, and so we know white is on the bottom. We're going to keep white at the bottom for the rest of this solve, by the way. So we know this corner belongs in this slot right here. So what we do is we move this corner here, like this. And so it belongs down here. So we're going to put the corner above the slot where it belongs. And this is where we start learning a little bit of algorithms. This one's simple for now. How you do it is you grab this layer like this with your right hand, and then you hold the cube with your left hand like this if you're right-handed. Obviously, if you're left-handed, you hold it the other way like this. But the right-handed way is you grab the cube like this, you move this layer up like this, then you're going to move the top layer to the left, move the right layer down, and move the top layer back. And that's our first algorithm. In the cubing world, that is called the sexy move. So we are going to be using that a lot for the corners, and then actually for the final step as well. Let's see. Now, if we look at the corner, it is solved, and you have to make sure that the colors align here. So we have red connected to red, green connected to green, white connected to white. So that's perfect. Next, we're going to move on to the next corner here. So this one doesn't have white on it. I'm going to ignore it. This one doesn't have white on it. I'm going to ignore it. This one does have white on it, and it is red and blue. What we're going to do is find the slot where it belongs, which is not here. This is orange, blue, and white, so it doesn't belong there. We have blue here, we have red here, and this is white down here. So this corner belongs to this slot right here. So I'm going to do it left-handed now to demonstrate how to do it lefty as well. You're going to go move the left layer up, move the top layer to the right, left layer down, top layer to the left, and then you're just going to repeat that. So left layer up, top layer to the right, left layer down, top layer to the left, and then repeat it until the corner gets solved. So make sure that the colors are aligned here. That is very important for solving this layer. So got to make sure all of these are aligned. Next, I'm going to find the next white corner, this one. Okay, so I'm going to be using this one for an example. So as you can see, my corner ended up in the wrong slot. The white face is solved, but green does not match orange, and orange does not match blue. So this corner actually belongs here on this side because that's green, that's orange, and this is white. So how can I move this corner over to here? Well, that's actually fairly simple. We do the same algorithm, but we just do it once. So we go up, to the right, down, to the left. And what that does is it props the corner out of this slot and then moves it up right here. So now I moved that green-orange corner, and I'm then going to solve it over to here instead, the green, orange, and white corner right here. So I'm going to move this corner here, and then I'm going to do it right-handed this time. So I'm going to put the corner above where it belongs right here, and then do the algorithm. Right layer up, top layer to the left, right layer down, top layer to the right, and then repeat. So right layer up, top layer to the left, right layer down, top layer to the right, and then just keep going. Up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right. And now make sure that the colors are aligned here. So we got all the greens, orange is aligned as well, and then we have blue and red. So we have one more corner left, and it's obviously going to be this one because all the other slots are full. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this corner above where it belongs, which is this slot, and I'm going to do it left-handed now. So up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left. All right. And after that step is done, you should have the entire white face solved as well as this first bottom layer. After solving the first layer and the first face, which is white, we are then going to move on to the second layer here. So this middle row right here, we're going to make sure all the colors are aligned, just like that. So what you want to do here is you want to find an edge piece on the top layer here that does not have yellow on it. So for example, this one here, this is green, but it has yellow in the front. So we're going to move on to the next one. This one here, it's yellow and red, so we can go ahead and move on. This one here, we have red and blue. So this is a good edge piece. What we're going to do now is we're going to align this color with its corresponding centerpiece right here. So as we did earlier, we're going to hold the top layer and then move the bottom two, just like so, until these line up. So this doesn't line up. We're going to move on to the next one. Okay, so it lines up here. Next, we're going to find the color on the top. So this color is red. Then we're going to look at the two centerpieces right here and here. This is orange and this is red. So that means this edge piece belongs here because blue and red would come together right here. So how do I put this edge piece into this slot? What we do is we move this top layer away from where it belongs. So we're going to move it away from this slot right here, just like that. Then we're going to move this slot upwards, like here. And then we're going to move this back. So this is going to be aligned again. And then we're going to move the right side down, like so. And what that does, it does break the white face and this bottom layer here, but don't be discouraged about that. We are going to be fixing that as we're inserting this bar right here. So Now we're going to spin the cube around until we find that white corner. Not here, not here, not here. Here it is. So now, since we popped the white corner out of where it belongs, which was this slot, we are then going to insert this corner back in here, but a different way than what we learned earlier. So you're going to move this white corner away from the slot like so. You're going to lift up the slot like this, and then we're going to reinsert the white corner here back into its original slot, just like that. And what that does is it put the corner in there with the corresponding edge piece. All right, we are then going to move on to the next edge piece. So this one won't work because it has yellow on it. This one won't work because it has yellow. This one will work. It has blue and orange. So orange belongs here in this slot. So we're going to move it away from the slot this way. Then we're going to bring this slot up like here. Then move this back. So this lines up again. Then we're going to move the left face, or we're going to move the left side down, just like that. And then we're going to face the white sticker here. And then just like how we did earlier, we're not going to do this move, putting it inside. What we're going to do is we're going to move it away from its slot, just like this. So away. Then bring the slot up. Then move this back. And then bring the slot down. There we are. We are halfway through on solving the edge pieces. So I'm going to move on to the next one. This one won't work. This one will work. However, the colors don't match here. So I'm going to go ahead and hold the top layer like this. And move the bottom two until they line up here. What I'm going to do now is look at the top color. So this is green. That's blue, so it doesn't belong here because that would make it incorrect. But it does belong here because this is green. So we're going to insert this edge piece over to here. So how we do that is we're going to move it away from the slot like earlier. Bring the slot up. Bring this back. Bring the slot down. Then face the white. And it belongs in this slot right here. So we're going to move it away from the slot like we did earlier. Bring the slot up. Bring it back. And then bring the slot down. And what that did was insert that green-orange corner, and now we are 3/4 of the way. So now we're on the last edge piece, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Looks like it's already lined up for me, and this is the red color on top, so it belongs here because this one is orange. What we're going to do is move it away from red like this. This is the slot. Bring the slot up, move it back, bring the slot down, face the white sticker again, move it away from the slot because this is the slot now. Move it away from the slot, bring the slot up, bring it back, and then bring it down. And here we are. We are now done with the second layer. So I want to demonstrate a case that can happen during your solves where the edge piece is correct, but it is inserted incorrectly. So as you can see here, this is the blue-orange edge piece. However, the colors are not correlated correctly. So what does that mean? Essentially, we will have to kick out this edge piece and then reinsert it back in correctly. So how can we do that? We're going to pretend that this piece belongs here and try to kick it out. So exactly how it was before. If we're trying to slot this one into here, we're going to move it away from the slot, just like that. Bring the slot up. Move this back here. Bring the slot down. Then we're going to face the white sticker, just like that. We are then going to move it away from the slot because this is the slot. Bring the slot up. Bring the slot back. Then bring the slot down, just like that. What we had up here was the orange and yellow edge piece. And what we did was we kicked out the blue and orange edge piece and replaced it with the orange and yellow one, just like how we have here. So now the blue and orange edge piece should be on this top layer here. If I move it around, it's not that one, but here it is. So what I'm going to do now is insert this one here. Just like before, move it away from the slot, bring the slot up, back, down, face the white sticker, move it away from the slot, bring this side up, bring it back, and then down. And you should be able to solve the second layer now. So after we got done with the first two layers here, we are then going to move on to the top layer and focus on the yellow edges here. So ignore the corners for now. We're just solely going to focus on the edges here. The next step is you're going to try to make a yellow cross on the top layer right here. And if you already have the yellow cross, well, lucky for you, you have skipped a step. But for those of you who do not have a yellow cross on the top, there are 4 patterns you can see up here. So there is the dot, and then you can have this L shape like this one here. Remember, we're only focusing on the edge pieces, ignoring the corners for now. You can have a straight line just like this one here. Ignoring the corners, it's just a straight line. And the end goal is that you end up with the cross. So if you're one of those lucky few, you can skip this step for now, but if you will have to learn this later if you want to go back and try to figure out how to solve the cube. So you're probably wondering, what's the algorithm? Well, it's the same algorithm. We're going to use it all throughout this step. I'm going to start with the dot case because when I use the algorithm, it's going to become the L shape. After I use the algorithm with the L shape, it's going to become the line. After I use it with the line, it's finally going to become the yellow cross. So I'm going to start from the dot case so that way we can get more familiar with it and build more consistency as we go along. So what's the algorithm? With the dot case, it doesn't matter which side you do it from. With the other shapes, it does. So hold off until we get to your shape that you ended up on the top, so that way you guys will be able to do it properly. What we do here on the dot case is we do F like this. We're going to move the front layer. So it's going to bring that white bar. We're going to do the sexy move, which is this, right layer up, top layer to the left, right layer down, top layer to the right. And then we're going to undo the F move like that. So this front move, we're going to undo it. And there we go. Now we ended up with the L shape. If you have the L shape, you have to do it from this angle where the L is backwards. So it's going to be the exact same algorithm, but you have to do it on this angle on this side. So right here, in my case, it's going to be the red side. If I move the L shape around, it's going to be the green side now. This one would be the orange side. And this one would be the blue side. So it's whatever angle the L shape is backwards. And it's going to be the exact same algorithm. It's going to be F. And then we're going to do the sexy move, which is this, back down, this way. And then we are going to undo the F move, or this front move like this. There we are. Now we have the line. And with the line, you have to do the algorithm at the angle where the line is horizontal. So if you did it from here where the line is vertical, you will actually be undoing the steps that we did earlier. So it is best that you do it from this angle where the line is horizontal. So in my case, it would be blue or green. If I did it like this, it would be orange or red at this point. So it's going to be the exact same algorithm. It's going to be this, moving that front layer, doing the sexy move, which is this, back down this way, and then undoing the the F move, which is this. At this point of the video, I do want to note some special exceptions that could happen. If you have a shape like this, where there's only one edge piece that's flipped, your cube cannot be solved. And that's because one of your edge pieces here is flipped. And let me show you. So if I try to do the algorithm here, we don't get the line shape, we don't get an L, we don't even get the cross. So I'm going to try to do it again. No matter what I do, it's just not going to progress at all. So here we are. We would have a cross here, but it is impossible to get this shape unless your cube is unsolvable, which means your edge piece is flipped. So in my case here, once I made the cross, that means this edge piece is flipped. So what does that mean? You will have to take your cube apart, just like I'm going to do here. And then you will have to flip your edge piece incorrectly, just like that. And that will make the cube solvable again. But that does not mean the rest of your cube is correct. So as we are solving it, I will then point out other times where your cube may not be solvable. So give me some time. There are some special cases. Sometimes maybe stickers are stickered incorrectly, but if you want more help or more private lessons, I will link my Instagram down below and maybe my Discord if you want to add me, if you do need additional help as well. Once we are done with the yellow cross, it's time to move on to the next step. And the next step here is to actually make lines going all the way down the Rubik's Cube. So we have this one going all the way down, this one going all the way down. You have this one going all the way down, and this one going all the way down. So we're trying to get all these lines down on all 4 sides of the Rubik's Cube. So we're going to go ahead and start doing that here. First off, maybe you're lucky and you already have all 4 sides going all the way down. So luckily you did skip another step if that is possible. But for those of you who weren't so lucky, there are two possible cases that can happen here. What I'm going to show y'all is the first case that could happen here. We have not that one, not that one. We do have red and we do have green. So this case right here is called the case of adjacents, where the two connecting sides have lines going all the way down. There is another case that is possible, but you will always have two lines going down. So if you only see one line going all the way down, like for example, I don't have any here, don't have any here, but I do have this one going all the way down, but not this one. That means that your top layer is misaligned and you'll have to spin it around until you see at least two lines. So you either have two lines or all four lines are solved. There's never only going to be one line solved. It just means the top layer is misaligned. I'm going to show y'all the other case that is possible as well. It looks like all the colors do not align, which I said earlier is not possible, which means that my top layer is misaligned. So if I spin it around, let's see. So this one goes all the way down, blue goes all the way down, or red doesn't, and green doesn't. So in this case, I have the case called the opposites, where the two lines go all the way down on opposite sides of the cube. So we have blue and green. So I am going to show you the algorithm that can be used to solve this case. I'm going to start with the opposites case first, because doing the algorithm will then transition us into the adjacent case. Yes, and so if you have the adjacent case, please hold on for just a moment. I will get to you all shortly. Let's see. So with the opposites case, you can choose actually either side you want to do it on. So in this case, I can do it on blue or green. I cannot do it on orange or red because the lines do not go all the way down. So I'm going to start with green. So here's the algorithm that you need to do. You're going to move the right side up, move the top to the left, right side down, move the top to the left again, right side up, move the top to the left 2 times. And then you're going to bring the right side down. Once this bar, this white bar is here, is your indication to bring it down. All right. And what that did now was create the adjacents case. As you can see, the rest of the lines are not going all the way down. So if you do have the adjacents case, what you want to do now is you want to leave the two sides that have it solved, one in the back and one on your right side, just like this. So the two that are not solved are going to be on your left and on your front. And you're going to do the exact same algorithm. You're going to go one up, top to the left, right side down, top to the left again, right side up, and then top to the left 2 times, and then right side down. And now it'll look like all the colors are not lined up. What you'll have to do now is just push the top layer to the left one more time after finishing the algorithm, and that should line up all of your centerpieces right here. We are on the final stretch now. What we're going to do next actually is to make sure all the corners end up in the right spot. Even though these are not solved, you can see that they are in the correct slots here. So this is green, red, yellow. This is green, orange, yellow. They're just not solved. So we have blue, orange, yellow, and then we have blue, red, and yellow as well. So how we can do this, let's see. There are 3 cases that can happen here. You can have none of the corners in the right slot. You can have one corner that's in the right slot, or all the corners are in the right slot. So in this case, what do I have here? That's not in the right slot. That's not in the right slot. This one is in the right slot, and this one is not in the right slot. So I got the one case where the one corner is in the right slot, and I will then undo this, and we will progress from there. So in this case here, I have none of the corners in the right slot, but our algorithm is going to swap these corners around, and this corner right here in front of you will not be affected. So if you have none of the corners in the right slot, it does not matter which side you do it from, because overall one of these corners that you swap around will end up in the right slot. And so if you do have one corner that is in the right slot, please hold on for just one moment. I will get with you shortly, because after doing it here with none of the corners in the right slot, I will end up with one in the right slot and show you what to do from there. So here's the algorithm here. What you're going to do is you're going to move the top layer this way. You're going to move the right layer up, move the top layer back, move this layer up now, move the top layer to the left, move the top right layer down, move the top layer to the right, Move the left layer down. All right, and now one of these corners should have ended up in the right slot. This one would not have been affected, so I know this one's not in the right slot here. So this one is not, this one is, and this one is not. So I have this one corner in the right slot. It doesn't matter if it's solved or not, but we are going to continue with this right here. So now that I have the one corner in the right slot, we are going to do the algorithm from this angle here, because we want to swap these three around without affecting this corner here. So if we do the algorithm with the correct corner in the right slot, we want it on our top right, like here. And we're going to do the algorithm one more time, and that should swap these around. So let's see. We're going to move the top layer to the left, right layer up, top layer to the right, left layer up, top layer to the left, right layer down, top layer to the right, and then left layer down. And then we're going to check and see if these corners here are in the right slot. So this one isn't, this one isn't, this one isn't. So this one still is in the right slot. We're going to have to do the algorithm again and hopefully swap these around into the right slot as well. So again, we're going this way, up, this way, and then this one up, back, down, back this way, and then down this way. So now all the corners should be in the right slot. Perfect. Now, when you do get to this step and you have two corners that are in the right spot, but the other two aren't, that means your cube is in a state that cannot be solved. So unfortunately, what that would mean is you would have to take apart the cube like this, and then you would have to swap two corners around, just like how I'm doing here. And then and only then will you be able to solve the cube. So then from here, you should be able to solve it normally and continue solving the cube from there. So all the corners here should be correct. Yep. We're finally on the last step of solving the Rubik's Cube. Once we're done with this step, it should be completely solved just like this one here. All right, so what you have to do now is you have to flip the cube completely upside down, have the white face on top just like this. And then you have to have a unsolved yellow corner piece on the bottom right, just like this one here. And then you're going to be doing the sexy move over and over again until this yellow piece is solved. So it's going to go up, right layer up, top layer to the left, right layer down, top layer to the right. And then you're going to repeat that until this yellow corner piece is solved here. All right, and you got to be very certain to get all four moves done. Otherwise, the cube will not be solved and you have to start this tutorial all over again, and we don't want to do that. So follow along with me. Up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left, up, right, down, left. All right. It may look like this is not being solved, but we do have the yellow corner solved here. From there, we are then going to move the empty slot to this piece right here. So we are not moving the cube. We are not following the empty slot. So I'm not going to move here and do it again. Instead, we are bringing this empty slot over to us. So we're going to move this yellow corner here to here, and then we're going to go ahead and solve it one more time. So this, down, left, up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right. All right. And then continuing on, we're going to find another unsolved yellow corner piece. So do not do it with any of the solved pieces you have down here. We're going to move an unsolved corner to this spot here. So if I do this and I try doing the algorithm again here, it is going to undo all of our progress because we already have this one solved. So I'm going to move the next corner piece that is unsolved and we're going to do it again. So up, right, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right, up, left, down, right. And your Rubik's Cube should be solved. So now I'm going to show you possible cases where your cube cannot be solved during the last step here. So same scenario. I have all the corners in the right spot. I'm going to go ahead and try to solve it using that method I just showed you. So we have an unsolved slot right here. I'm going to go ahead and do the algorithm. All right, then I'm going to move another unsolved slot here. And then we're going to continue again. And then, as you can see, it looks like the cube is solved. However, there is one corner here that is twisted. So if I went ahead and tried to do the algorithm again, it would mess up the entire cube. And that means your cube is in a state where it is impossible to be solved. So how can you fix this? Well, technically on the Rubik's Cube, you cannot have one corner that is twisted. That makes the entire cube unsolvable. So if you have one corner that is not solved, like I have here while you're doing the final algorithm, that means this corner right here is twisted. So even though the whole cube looks like it's solved and this one corner is here, this is impossible to solve because this should never happen while having a Rubik's Cube. So the only way to fix this is by actually turning this corner piece, and that will then fix your cube, allowing it to be solved again. So if you do run into this issue, that's your solution for it. So beware, pay attention as you're doing the final algorithm. If you do have one corner piece that is not solved, and if you do end up messing up your cube, even though you did the algorithm completely correct, one of your corners is twisted. So that is your solution to fixing that.